Hey everyone, it's Hector here from Oakwyn Realty and the Capitulo Brothers Real Estate Group in Vancouver. In today's video, we're going to talk about the December 2023 real estate market stats so you can figure out what happened in the month of December for real estate. So let's start off with the number of homes that were bought and sold, number of sales transactions in the month of December, totaled 1345 in the month compared to the 1303 recorded in December of 2022 for a slight increase of 3.2% when you compare year over year. However, this number is still roughly 36% less than the normal seasonal 10-year average that we have in the Greater Vancouver area. Now, when you look at the number of listed homes that were put on the market in December of 2023 compared to December of 2022, you see a slight increase also of 9.9%, almost 10% number of homes that were put on the market this year or in December of 2023 compared to December of 2022, meaning more buyers that were in the market had a little bit more options in terms of properties that they could go look at and purchase. However, that number is also down by roughly 24% compared to the seasonal average that we have, the 10-year seasonal average that we have in the Greater Vancouver area. So again, still very short in terms of supply when you compare it to the normal real estate market that we have in the Greater Vancouver area. So when you look at the total number of homes that were listed for sale in the month of December against the total number of transactions that occurred in December, you can see they are both down compared to the 10-year seasonal average. This is just telling you that there aren't as many sellers that are currently on the market, and there aren't as many buyers that are currently on the market, which kind of buoyed the property prices in the Greater Vancouver area. Imagine if there was a sudden burst of supply and not enough demand, well, you would almost expect prices to come down because those buyers that are in the market would be able to negotiate since there are many sellers on the market. But in this case, for December 2023, again, number of listed homes in the month were down compared to the 10-year seasonal average, and then number of sales transactions were also down compared to the 10-year seasonal average. The other key metric that I like to look at for my buyers is the sales to active listings ratio by property type, so apartments, townhouses, and then the detached market. This sales to active listings ratio is going to tell you if there's upward pressure in pricing for every property type, depending on location, of course, and we can break this down further for you. This is something we do for our buyers normally. So for apartments in the Greater Vancouver area, you saw a sales to active listings ratio of roughly 20%. For December 2023. For townhouses, you saw about a 19% sales to active listings ratio. And for the detached sector, you saw about an 11% sales to active listings ratio. And what does this mean? Well, basically, the apartments and townhouses have an upward pressure in pricing versus the detached market, which is in slightly favoring the buyers if you're a buyer in the detached space. So again, take a look at the sales to active listings ratio. It's just going to show you the number of homes that are available to purchase and the number of sales that happened against the number of homes that are available for sale. That ratio is going to show you if there is upward pressure in pricing in those product categories, and then you can further break that down, or your agent can further break that down for you by neighborhood. If you have any questions on that, we can always provide you the statistics as well, so reach out to me. And just to recap the entire 2023 year for you, along with the December 2023 market update. So for the full year of 2023, the total number of homes that were sold in the year was about 10% less than what we did last year in 2022. And it was about 42% less than what we did compared to 2021. And it's about 23% less than the 10-year average in the Greater Vancouver area. Despite not having as many sales transactions occur in 2023 compared to years past or even the average, prices in the Greater Vancouver area were still up roughly 5%. And one thing that's not talked about enough, in my opinion, is how can prices remain high despite us operating in an elevated interest rate environment? Well, the number of homeowners that do not have a mortgage in the Greater Vancouver area, and you can do your own research on this to figure out some of these numbers, but the number of homeowners that do not have a mortgage is roughly 50%. The other 50% that do have a mortgage 70% of them have a fixed rate mortgage, and only 30% of them have a variable rate mortgage. So again, sellers, we had a little bit of a supply shortage story occurring in the spring of 2023 that kind of carried itself through almost the summer. And then again, some of these sellers were reluctant to put their properties on the market because they had fixed rates if they had a mortgage, and they were probably paying something like 3% or less on their mortgage, and some even as low as 2 and 1.5 and what, something like 1%, which is almost unheard of today. So of course, as a seller, you would not want to give that mortgage up in order to move up in the market, because you're going to sell your home that had a mortgage of 3% or less, and then you're going to buy something and you're going to have to get a new mortgage for 5, 6, or 7%. However, the market sentiment is changing. Towards the end of 2023 in October, November, December, you saw the 5-year Canada bond yield drop by about 1 to 1.2%, which has a direct correlation with fixed rates for mortgages. So if the 5-year Canada bond yield is roughly at 4.4% sometime in September or October, and towards November, December, it dropped by about 1 to 1.2%. Fixed rate mortgages also fell by the same amount. So for the first time in a while, we finally saw fixed rate mortgages be below 5%, which we hadn't seen in quite some time, probably since March or April of 2023. So again, that kind of spurred on the market a little bit. The market sentiment is changing. The Bank of Canada is expected to drop their prime rate, or their policy rate, in the summer of 2024. And again, buyers, in anticipation of this, I believe, will start to come back to the market. Sellers will also come back to the market thinking that maybe they can make their move in 2024 if it makes sense for them financially. So again, we'll see how this plays out. But again, I feel like what I'm seeing on the ground, the market sentiment is starting to change. In 2023, people started to get used to the elevated interest rate environment. However, now in anticipation of rate cuts sometime in 2024, people, I believe, will come back to the market, and a lot of the supply that comes on, I think, will be quickly filled by qualified buyers who have a little bit more purchasing power when the Bank of Canada cuts their interest rates, which affect the variable interest rate mortgages. So again, look forward to this in 2024. And if you want to be successful with your real estate goals in 2024, book a 45-minute session with me through my Calendly link in the description below, and we'll make sure to sit down and formulate a strategy for you that makes sense for whatever it is that you need to happen in 2024. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Also, if you found this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. That way you can stay connected with the most up-to-date real estate information regarding the Greater Vancouver area. And I look forward to serving you in the future.